The Cowboys just made a move that could completely change how the rest of the league looks at this team, and if you're not paying attention right now, you might miss the most important storyline of the entire offseason. So before we dive into everything, I need you to do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button because we drop Cowboys content the second news breaks. And with everything happening right now, you do not want to be out of the loop. Trust me, this one matters. And here's the thing that got me thinking about all of this. Jackson Smith and Jigba just became the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. 4 years over, $168 million, which comes out to more than $42 million per season. And the moment that deal dropped, my mind immediately went to Dallas because this changes everything for George Pickens and what the Cowboys are trying to build. And the crazy part is most people aren't even connecting the dots yet. So let me break this down for you, because the ripple effects of one contract in Seattle are going to hit the star in a major way. Right now, only two receivers in the entire league are making more than $40 million a year, and that's Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jamar Chase. So you might be wondering, where does Pickens fall into all of this? Well, if you look at the current rankings, Pickens would slot in around 15th in terms of average annual value, and he's currently sitting on the franchise tag at just over $27 million. So no, he's probably not going to reset the market the way JSN just did, but here's what nobody's talking about. That massive contract in Seattle just created more room for Pickens to negotiate higher than he would have before, because that's how this business works. The salary cap keeps climbing, the top of the market keeps rising, and everyone underneath gets lifted too. So when we see reports about what Pickens might eventually sign for, don't be shocked if his number creeps closer to what CeeDee Lamb is making. And speaking of Lamb, he's locked in at around $34 million per year, which means if Pickens lands somewhere in that range, you're looking at two elite receivers both being paid like the stars they are and both wearing the same jersey in Dallas. Now that leads to the bigger question, and this is where things get really exciting. How does this Cowboys wide receiver duo stack up against the rest of the league? Because I've been hearing a lot of chatter about this, and honestly, I think people are sleeping on what Dallas has right now. When you pair CeeDee Lamb with George Pickens, you're not just putting together two good players, you're creating one of the most dangerous combinations in football. Think about what each guy brings to the table. CeeDee is a route running technician. He can get open against anyone. He's got elite hands. He creates separation, and he's already proven he can carry an offense on his shoulders. But then you add Pickens to the mix, and suddenly defenses have to deal with a completely different problem, because Pickens is a different kind of monster. He's physical, he's explosive, he wins at the catch point, and he's got that swagger that makes defensive backs uncomfortable. And when you combine those two skill sets, you get a receiver room that can beat you in every single way imaginable: short routes, deep shots, contested catches, separation plays, everything. And the best part is they complement each other perfectly. Now, some people might point to other duos around the league and say, hold on, what about this team or that team? And yeah, there's definitely competition out there. Philadelphia made some moves. Denver just brought in Jalen Waddle to pair with Cortland Sutton, and you've got the Rams with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. So there are definitely some talented tandems across the NFL. But here's my take: as long as CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are healthy and on the field together in 2026, I don't know how you can rank anyone above them. Maybe you put the Rams duo in the conversation, but even then there are question marks. Adams is heading into his age 34 season, and Puka has had some off-field stuff that clouds the picture a little bit. So when I look at the full landscape, I keep coming back to Dallas as having one of the most complete and terrifying receiver pairings in the entire sport. And that's not just hype, that's based on what we've actually seen from both of these guys. Now let's shift gears for a second, because while the receiver room is getting all this attention, the defense is making some serious noise too, and I'm not sure people realize just how much this unit is changing. Rashawn Gary is now a Dallas Cowboy. The team sent a fourth-round pick to Green Bay to bring him in, and this is a move that could quietly end up being one of the best of the entire offseason, because Gary is a proven pass rusher who knows how to win at the line of scrimmage, and the reunion angle makes it even better. He's back with Kenny Clark, his former teammate in Green Bay. And when Gary talked about joining Dallas, he made it clear this isn't just another stop for him. He said he's excited to be part of what the organization is building, and that he can't wait to show Cowboys Nation what he's all about. And honestly, you love to hear that kind of energy from a new addition, because attitude matters, culture matters. And when a guy comes in ready to work and ready to prove something, that energy spreads throughout the locker room. But here's what makes the Gary signing even more interesting. The Cowboys are shifting to a new defensive scheme under coordinator Christian Parker, and that means the front seven is going to look a lot different than what fans are used to seeing. We're talking about a 3-4 system where everyone on the defensive line is going to be bigger, more physical, and more versatile. The outside linebackers are going to look like defensive ends. The defensive linemen are going to look like nose tackles, and everyone has a specific responsibility in terms of gap control and run defense. But where does Gary fit into all of this? Well, according to reports and breakdowns from analysts, he's going to be lining up as a wide nine edge rusher, which means his job is to get after the quarterback on every passing down. And that's exactly what this defense needs, because for the past few seasons, the Cowboys have struggled to generate consistent pressure without relying on one or two guys to do everything. But now you've got Gary on the edge, Clark inside, and a whole new attitude up front. And when you start stacking those pieces together, you can see how this defense might be able to take a serious leap forward. And the crazy part is we haven't even talked about the secondary yet, because Dallas just signed Darian Kendrick, a corner who's been around some elite competition in this league. He played with the Rams and Seahawks, which means he went up against guys like Pukanakwa JSN and Devontae Adams every single day in practice. And when he talked about what that experience taught him, he made it clear that he's ready for the challenge of guarding CeeDee and Pickens in practice, because he knows iron sharpens iron. He knows that facing elite receivers every day is what makes you better. And that mentality is exactly what this defense needs moving forward. But here's the part that really stood out to me when Kendrick was asked about what this Cowboys defense needs to improve. He didn't talk about scheme or talent. He talked about ego. He said the team needs guys who buy in, who play for their teammates, and who don't let individual stuff get in the way. And man, that tells you something about the mindset this coaching staff is trying to build, because talent alone doesn't win championships. You need guys who are locked in, who trust each other, and who put the team first. And if the Cowboys can create that kind of culture on defense, combined with the firepower they already have on offense, then this team might be a lot more dangerous than people are giving them credit for. Now, let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture, because all of these moves, whether it's the receiver duo, the defensive additions, or the new coaching energy under Brian Schottenheimer, they all point to one thing. Dallas is trying to build something real, something that can compete when the games get serious, and I think that's what makes this offseason feel different. There's a sense of purpose here, a sense of direction that maybe wasn't as clear in previous years, and Cowboys fans can feel it, because this fan base doesn't show up just to watch average football. The expectation in Dallas is always about being great. It's about making noise in January. It's about competing for championships. And when you see the pieces starting to come together like this, it's hard not to get excited about what's possible. And look, I know there are still questions to answer. We don't know exactly how the offense will look under Schottenheimer. We don't know if Doc's going to stay healthy and play a full season. We don't know if the defense can make the jump everyone is hoping for. But what we do know is that the foundation is being built. And when the foundation looks this strong, you start believing that maybe this could be the year things click. And if CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens really do become one of the top 2 or 3 receiver duos in football, then the rest of the NFC needs to start paying attention, because this offense could put points on anybody. And with a revamped defense backing them up, the Cowboys might just be ready to remind the league why they're called America's team. So here's what I want to know from you, Cowboys Nation. Do you believe in this duo? Do you think CeeDee and Pickens can carry Dallas back to the top of the NFC? And what about the defense? Do you think guys like Rashawn Gary and Darian Kendrick are the kind of players who can change the identity of this unit? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a real conversation about what this team can become. And if you made it this far in the video, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we're going to be covering every single move, every single rumor, and every single game all season long. And I don't want you to miss any of it. Cowboys Nation, something special is building in Dallas, and I'm here for every second of it. Let's ride.